Hello everyone, we're just going to get right into it, and thanks for joining us at Inquisition. So, our problem today is to find the third to last element in a linked list. So I went ahead and drawn out a linked list here, and of course, like any other singly linked list, you have each node has a reference to the node in front of it, and etc. So the technique you use to solve this problem is actually really important. Not only because this is one of the most common programming interview questions you'll probably ever encounter, honestly, but every other linked list question, or at least a large majority of them, actually build on this and use techniques that involve a similar kind of solution. And that solution is using multiple references instead of one as you iterate through the list. So what does that mean? Well, normally when you go through a singly linked list, you have a single reference. I'm going to use my pen here to denote that. So I'm pointing to this guy, and I want to get to the next one, so I use this information, this arrow, and I follow the arrow, and I'm at this guy. And you iterate just like that, right? So if I want to find the third to last node, which is going to be this one, well, I actually have two references, which I will denote by my two pens. So I'm going to iterate the first one 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So I have two references, one pointing to the head, and the other pointing to some node in the list. Note, you should be doing some checks here if you're actually programming this to see if you actually hit the end as you go through, because if the list isn't at least 3 long, then, well, of course you can't find the third to last element. Well, 4 long, excuse me. So, anyways, from here we iterate each of them by 1 each. So 1, 2, and here we see that the first iterator, excuse me, is at the head, or the tail, wow, because its next reference is null. And when we see that, we say, excellent. The pointer, or reference, to this node being at the tail node means we can't iterate any further, which means that this pointer, or reference, is actually at the node we want. So we actually just return the data pointing to this one, or the node, depending on the problem specification. So that's it. That's the entire technique. Remember, in a lot of linked list problems, if you're struggling, always ask yourself, well, what if I had multiple references to various points in the list that had some logical connection? And that'll get you through a lot of these problems. So, thank you, and this has been Inquisition. Have a good day.